Welcome to Leaving Crazy Town with Finn and Sarah. I'm Finn.
Guess who I am?
That's Sarah. And this is our launching video number two, because when we did the first one, we left some stuff out.
Yeah.
What'd we leave out, Sarah?
We're constantly adjusting our videos, putting more information. We're going to have bloopers. We're going to have lots of fun. But this is the thing I thought.
The bloopers will be included in the videos.
How we're just going to run right over the bloopers. Okay, so we did. All right, this is what I was thinking. We did the intro video and we talked about behaviors and we talked about feelings, but also we can, in the book, I have a few chapters called Living in Fantasy Land.
Denial.
And
or is that different?
Yeah, and I think I call it, what is the other chapter about denial? But part of being co-crazy or codependent is how we think or don't think. So, and part of this is not just codependency, it's how human beings are, Finn. It's just codependence.
Do you mean like when I look across the room and I smile at someone and they don't smile back, and I've now created an entire story about how they're mad at me or don't like me?
Very good.
Because
yes,
they would have smiled at me if
yes.
they liked me.
Yes. Part of being human is we make up stories about what other people think. And codependent behavior is basically being chronically preoccupied with what other people are doing, saying, thinking, feeling, rather than being in our own universe, our own.
Yeah.
I want to say like tube, like in the Star Trek, but I couldn't find the word, so that's all right. But
blooper. When your co-host is doing this around you on the video, I don't know. I think I checked out there for a minute. I wasn't sure what was happening.
All right. So ways of thinking codependent people think. And this is also with addiction too. Like some people say, denial, rationalization, minimizing, making up stories, fantasy thinking, negative thinking, fearful thinking, black and white thinking. There's all kinds of types of thinking that you can have as an addict, either in recovery or not in recovery, or as a codependent, or really just as a human being.
I think sometimes that manifests itself too in communication snafus.
Oh my God,
I don't know, like
communication.
If I ever get a text message so I have plans to go to lunch with somebody and they don't give me the 20-minute spiel or a 20-word spiel or paragraph spiel as to why they can't go, but they cancel. Well, I know me. I will create a whole story as to why.
Yes.
Instead of just saying, not that I need to ask, but just saying that they had a reason. Whatever, I will make it about me.
Yes.
Automatically.
Yes.
I'm also a mind reader.
The mind reading. Oh my gosh. So what I was going to say about that interaction is actually both pieces are codependent. If I feel like if I need to say no to someone, I can't do it, but I need to explain, make a huge excuse and reason, that's codependent behavior. If I receive someone just saying, no, I can't, and I make up a whole story about myself, that's codependent behavior. So basically, it's really interesting because
basically everything is codependent behavior unless it's a choice that you're making based on what you want and need.
Yes.
It's not that easy.
We're going to talk about a lot of stuff on this channel because communication is where so many things go wrong. I mean, there's almost like communication that you're doing, and then there's the real story underneath of what.
Sarah, I will tell you that before I became aware of the underneath, I would have said to you, I do what I want.
Yeah.
I run my life. I do what I want. And ultimately, when I've had an opportunity to really get to understand this stuff, no. I didn't even know I was operating.
That's the other thing about. And I would say it's a response to just our lives and how we grow up and everything. But part of codependency is we can be very detached from what's going on inside of us. And part of our real mission on this channel is for people to start to really get to know themselves. Because when we're detached, we're out here spinning in, gee, what do they want? What do my kids want? What does my husband want?
That's the typical co-crazy behavior is when you're focused on everything outside of yourself instead of what's inside.
That's right. And this is about uh-oh, this is going to be scary. The truth. The truth.
The truth.
This is the thing. Okay, this is going to maybe land heavily, but when we don't want to see the truth in ourselves or in others, we will spiral into all kinds of co-crazy behavior to avoid it.
So occasionally I'll have a truth rise up, and I know that if I act on what's truthful for me and what my needs are, it's going to affect the people around me.
Yes.
Which triggers my codependency.
Yes.
Which makes me like, as soon as I have the awareness today, I'm like, oh crap.
Right.
No, I don't want to make a change. I don't want to say no to that event.
Right.
And I do want to, even if it's a simple invitation.
That's the other thing we're going to give you guys freedom to do. I'll give you guys, like, you can do whatever you want.
We're going to give it to you because we're going to control your behavior as well as everyone in our lives.
Control everybody in our lives. Okay.
Could y'all just do what we need?
What we're saying is this. Sometimes making a choice that is a codependent choice, and we're going to get into what even codependency means, because I know the word just makes me nuts because it's so overused.
Never get into it.
Never get into the word codependency.
We don't need to define it. We're living it.
All right. Say we make a choice that we know may be the choice that's not the best for us. That's okay. Because we're really about honoring where you're at any given time. Like sometimes you're just really stressed out and you don't want to tell your mom you can't take her out to lunch that day. You just need to do it. That's
sometimes it's easier to do the codependent behavior.
Yes.
But being aware of it and acknowledging it and allowing it to be okay with yourself, I think does relieve a lot of the resentment and anger and frustration that can come out of codependency behaviors where we feel like we don't have a choice. So if you're choosing the codependent behavior, you're still making a choice.
Okay. This is what I want to say as the last thing before we end the second video. Consequences. God, I'm almost crying.
Do you need tissues?
Consequences. This is the thing to know about these behaviors when we put ourselves last. What are the consequences?
Illness.
Okay.
Misery.
Anybody read any Gabor Mate books? Just read it.
You
it's
find
all about
yourself
codependency.
on your deathbed and you're thinking, wow, I didn't do anything I wanted to do.
Oh, okay. I mean, all right. We don't want to get too depressing, but this is the thing.
It doesn't have to be depressing because we're leaving CrazyTown.
It doesn't have to be illness. It can be depression. It can be anxiety. It can be staying busy all the time.
Yeah,
it can be just feeling not even in touch with yourself. It can be living a life you don't want.
I know I've felt trapped. And
you can feel trapped. You can feel angry all the time. You could be in chronic fear about what other people are thinking. I mean, there are so many consequences to not being in touch with yourself that you don't even think about. And we're going to be talking a lot about that because I think it's hard for people to say, oh, I've had people say to me, I don't even know I'm codependent when they're living these unbelievable.
This might sound kind of crazy, but I was playing on a sport and I wasn't feeling competitive. I had some changes in my life and I found myself getting injured every time I was going to play. I'd get injured and be out for 6 weeks and I would feel so happy that I didn't have to play. And then I'd get better.
A sign.
I got to go. And here's a sport. I'm choosing to play. I'm paying for
whatever.
But I literally would be so excited when I got injured. So I didn't have to go.
But
instead of just deciding not to do it. But it was how I identified. I'm a hockey player. So I have to,
yes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yes. CrazyTown.
Thinking about what makes you happy and not for someone else. I mean, gosh, we're going to get into so many topics. I just thought about parents whose kids do certain things that really are to make them happy and not for themselves. But that's another day. I can get activated.
Endless
codependency topics
and scenarios. And if you have anything you want us to address, because it could take us years to get to that topic because there's so much, put it in the chat. Subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
We look forward to hearing from you and leaving CrazyTown.
We're leaving. Love you.